I spoke to some of you guys yesterday. Obviously, thank you for coming. I want to preface too with thank you to the Michigan State Police. This is the 10th officer-involved shooting that they've investigated on behalf of the Grand Rapids Police Department since I took over as chief. And I know it's a lot of work. They do a very professional job, and I don't want to say, I can't minimize, can't say how much I am thankful for them. Their response yesterday was consistent with the professionalism. They come from all over the region, and to see them there so quickly on a cold day and do such professional work. So big thanks to the Michigan State Police. Here's what we'll do. I'll let the video run, let it speak for itself. As you guys know, not going to make a conclusion of policy or law today as far as the actions of the officers. What I want to do is provide you a preliminary briefing on the information on the use of force that we have at this time. Other high-level questions, if I can, I'll answer it. If I can't answer it, I'm going to explain to you why I can't answer it. And with that, Chief of Staff, you'll let it run, and I'll answer questions after. And as I mentioned yesterday, this was not a traffic stop. This was an individual who was out on the street and was known to these officers. You will hear, or you won't hear, the individual's name because it's edited out at this point in time. But what you're hearing is the officers calling him by his first name because these officers are familiar with him. So.
hands out of your pockets. Keep your hands out of your pocket. Come here. 1817, shots fired. Your head? No. 1817 is weak. He's going eastbound on the alley off of Blaine, just south of Adams. Officer, what's my call?
All right, so those are the three videos. Oh, sorry, one more thing. You see the injury to this incident. Miraculously, the squad car was hit once. As you can see, the flat tire. This was a couple houses in from where you last saw the individual running. That was recovered by the state police. So a couple things to point out before I take any questions. Number one, thankful for the technology that the city has afforded us. If you heard some of the radio traffic, as soon as the officer calls out shots fired, first officer not on scene gets on the air, says where they mapping. Means where on the map to the dispatch center upstairs, where are these officers at so we can get our backup there. You could hear the siren coming before the video finished. You know those officers were very close by. They were able to set up a perimeter very closely and apprehended that individual just minutes later. Not only did they end up locating the firearm, but he was arrested before he made it east of Kalamazoo, which would have been the next block over. So the response was excellent, including response from sister agencies. I know East Grand Rapids was there very quickly, and Michigan State Police as well. So thankful for them. Very thankful that my police officers were not injured. If you watch this video, I know we're going to share it with you. I think we're going to share it in a Dropbox for you. I watched it several times. And it is, even with 25 years of experience in dealing with traumatic situation, it is a stark reminder how quickly a situation can go from mundane to deadly dangerous. Kudos to these police officers, one of whom is an officer in training, 6 weeks on the street with a field training officer. They without coming to a conclusion of criminal law or policy, from what I saw, I am very proud to be the chief of this organization, and very thankful that these two officers are okay. And the criminal justice system, the goals of putting somebody behind bars, deterrence, retribution, rehabilitation, and keeping people in prison who should not be on the street, incapacitation. And in this case, I am so thankful that an individual who is willing to, when approached by police officers, turn and attempt to murder two police officers, is now off the street, and hopefully will be off the street for a very long time. This is exactly what we're asking those officers to do. This is the south end of the city where this happened. If you think about it, just since August, we've had murder on Umatilla of a young man. We've had those two murders on Diamond in August, in September. Down at McKay J.C. Park. These have been all just the past few months. We get a lot of complaints about different things in the city as far as crime, but I've said since day one, violent crime, especially violent crime against our young people, is our top priority, and these officers are out proactively taking illegally possessed guns off people, statistically 1-2 times every day. Very professionally, very well done. That's what they were out doing yesterday. I'm so thankful they weren't hurt. I'm so thankful that this gun is off the street. I'm so thankful that this individual will be held accountable. And I tell you, usually it's difficult for me to stand up here when we're talking about tragedies with people dying. This was a good day for the city of Grand Rapids yesterday. It was a very good day for the police department. It highlighted how excellent our training is. And this individual is behind bars hopefully a very long time, and hopefully when he comes out, he's a changed person. Hope this stands as a stark reminder. The sacrifices that these police officers are making on the street every day, and just the positive impact that they're having in the community. If this didn't happen yesterday, if they weren't taking this gun off the street yesterday, it's very possible I could be talking today about another murder committed by that individual with that gun. I'll take any questions you have at this time.
Arraignment information, Chief, and also where was the gun stolen?
Say that again.
The arraignment information?
Arraignment information, so we don't have that yet, and I know I sometimes sound like a broken record, but we hand off the criminal investigation, in this case, not only the investigation of the use of force by the officers, but the Michigan State Police, to make it one sort of seamless investigation, have taken over the entire investigation. I did speak briefly to the lieutenant in charge today, not about the facts of the case, just a status. He said they've been in contact with the prosecutor. They do not have an update for me at this time. When they do have an update, it'll probably come for them, but I'd be happy to share it with you at that
Do you know
time.
whether or not the suspect's
Where
gun
did you say the gun was stolen?
We have not even considered, because we did not recover the gun. I had that picture of the gun that my personnel took on scene. And actually, if you look at it, you can see part of the serial number. We haven't tested the gun. We don't have possession of the gun in a way that we're going to be able to tell if that's the same gun that was stolen. This subject was suspected of a theft of a gun crime on the south end of the city.
Can you talk about his criminal history, the suspect?
Unfortunately, I can only talk so much of his criminal history because he's 18 years old. So what I'm not prepared to do is talk about any potential juvenile history. Not permitted to by law, so I can just tell you, as an adult, he was known by the field training officer in this case. He's known by the officers in that neighborhood, and again, was a suspect as an adult in the theft of a firearm.
Do you know how many shots were fired in total, and if you could describe between the suspect and your officer?
So preliminarily, and I didn't get the official round count from MSP, but from watching this video several times, this is from my experience, it looks as though the offender fired 4 shots at the officers. One of the officers replied with 7 rounds, one replied with 2 rounds.
Are you aware of any homes that were hit during this exchange?
I know at least one building was hit. I believe it was a residence that was hit. Thankfully, no individuals were injured.
Hit by officers' bullets?
Well,
or
it's
by
very,
the
it's very possible. Yeah, it's very possible, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for the body camera footage, if you don't mind, which one is the supervisor and which one is the trainee?
In this case, the driver was in training.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we didn't really get an idea from the video that we saw. We saw obviously the turnaround from your officer. Can you kind of give us an idea of what happened beforehand?
I wish I could, and I know those are answers that are going to be asked and may have already been asked by the Michigan State Police for those facts. Really, what I've shared with you is all I know. I know the background from the GRPD side, that this individual, now that I know his identity, I know they have an officer safety caution out for him, that I know the officers in that neighborhood are familiar with him. I know that I do not exactly know what happened prior to this, but that's all going to come out in the investigation by Michigan State Police.
Is that because the camera doesn't record that early enough? Or?
That's right. So body-worn camera and in-car cameras, I believe it's a 30-second buffer. So if you'll notice from the in-car camera does not have sound during the buffer. So the first few seconds where there was no sound, that's because the officers hadn't turned the camera or the lights on, which activate the camera, on yet. So it only goes back 30 seconds, and it's not enough for me in context to tell what happened.
So if anything, you're going to need the officer's description of what happened before.
Say that one more time.
You're going to need the officer's description.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're going to get a full statement from the officers that includes what they knew, what their goal was in stopping him, what the subject's actions were, all important information, which I don't have yet. Go ahead, Ken.
Officers on paid leave for this incident, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
How many officers do you have on leave right now for other cases that are pending?
2 others.
From the Troutman, from the Xavier Troutman?
That's correct. Yep. Yeah. Good memory. Yep.
Can you talk a little about, they see this individual, what was the intention? Was it to maybe arrest? Was it, I don't know, I know you're not the officer, but what was the
Anything
plan?
I would give you would be a guess. And you guys know I like to talk, and with my experience, I spent a lot of time on the street, and knowing that this individual is well known to the officers, that we have had an uptick in gun violence in that neighborhood recently, that the mission really is to protect the young people, especially in this city, from gun violence. If I saw that individual with just the information I know, regardless of his actions, I at least would want to stop and talk to him. And so maybe it was just a stop and talk. Maybe they had probable cause to arrest him for something. I'm not sure. Very interesting to find out. But clearly, in this case, even if it was a matter of they just had some reasonable suspicion, they clearly were choosing the right individual to stop.
Do you know if your officers have given their sworn statements yet?
I don't know, they have not.
So
Yeah.
with 4 officers on paid leave right now, is that having any impact on coverage for the city?
Fortunately, we just graduated. I mean, this young man that was in the shooting here that's in training was one of the group of, I think, 14 that we just graduated. So we've increased in size. As the summer has come to an end, as it gets colder, this usually is a little bit of a breakthrough. So if you had to tell me one time in the seasons of when I could be short 4 officers and still function, we do have some administrative work. We have a lot of training work to do. So if one of the officers that was on leave yesterday, he was in helping with training on an unrelated topic. So I will say operationally, I'd love to have them back, but I don't think it's causing a safety issue at this time.
Is the only charge or crime you know of that this individual committed as an adult was this stolen firearm, or is there any others?
You know what, I haven't looked into that. I haven't looked at, I don't know, I'm not even sure how long he's been 18, so I just don't have that information yet. I'm not sure.
I know you've
Yeah.
mentioned it a couple of times, but you know, this individual was 18 years old. He's out on the street. He has a gun. You know, he's allegedly fired it at officers. And you are so big on, you know, lowering the crime rate for the youth in the city and, you know, getting the guns out of the hands of kids.
Yeah, and part of it is what I've said so many times, you know, the police, we're very good at investigating crime. We're very good at responding to crime. You can see we're good at taking guns off the street, usually without even any level of force, not this, but we really need the additional adults in the city of Grand Rapids to stand up, and I'll call him an adult because he is, but 18 years old, that's a young man. And there had to be adults in this individual's life which knew he was going out on the street every day with a gun. And another question is, what is he out there doing with this gun? I know he's not going to the shooting range. I know it's not legally possessed. So there have to be people in this young man's life that know that he's going out every day with a gun. And we need more adults to stand up and be parents, be parent figures in these young people's lives. Now, I mentioned the goal of incapacitation, and it is important to me to get this young man off the street and behind bars because he was willing to murder 2 of my police officers. And I'm sure he was willing to murder other individuals with his actions. You can see the complete and total disregard for human life. But I am thankful he's 18 years old, and I know he won't get life in prison. And I hope that this is not only a watershed moment for him and his life, and that he comes out of prison and is a real benefit to the community, maybe can speak to the young people in Grand Rapids when he gets out. But this has got to be a wake-up call for everyone. You will be held accountable if you illegally possess a gun in the city of Grand Rapids. And if you try to murder someone, or if you commit murder, we will do everything we can to find you and to hold you accountable.
I know you don't have possession of that gun, but maybe you already answered this question, but what kind of gun, do you know?
I can't,
Semi-automatic?
it looks, it's definitely a semi-automatic. From the picture that we shared with you, you can see it has a slide on it, a feature of a semi-automatic handgun. It looks to me to be a standard, like something like a police officer would carry, but I don't have the make, model, serial number, anything like that.
Do you have to ask MSP to run forensics tests on that gun?
Fortunately, so we had the conversation with MSP leadership yesterday, and it was really a question. Now that, every officer involved shooting is a little bit different. Here we don't have anybody hit, so we have a little bit more flexibility as far as how we investigate it. So the offer was, do you want to split this up? Should we do the officer involved shooting part, and Grand Rapids Police, should they do the section of how we hold this young man accountable for shooting at the police officers? We made a determination efficiency-wise in getting it done. They're going to take the entire investigation, start to finish, and so they're going to do all of that. We don't need to tell them anything. They're very good at what they do. They're going to be running, if they haven't even tested it already, I'd be surprised. I'm sure they have that information already.
What kind of charges would you like to see? Obviously, you said MSP is handling that. Is there charges you specifically?
Assault with intent to murder is what I assume, and would be very shocked if those charges weren't filed.
I know you spoke yesterday and you mentioned today multiple crimes in this general area over the past couple of months. Any indication this person could be connected to any of those?
Well, it's a type of individual that's willing to pull the trigger and take another human life. There's very few of those individuals in the city of Grand Rapids. I'm thankful that we're even one less homicide this year than we were last year, but even said this, at last night, probably about 9 o'clock, we had a young person shot in the area of Martin Luther King and Eastern. Not very far from where this happened. So these individuals are still out there, It is not the same level of violence as we've seen in years past. I'm thankful for that, but we have to keep making progress. It's possible that this individual is involved in other reported crimes or even unreported crimes, and we're gonna do everything we can to get to the bottom of it and see if there are other things to hold him accountable, we certainly will.
You talked about, I'm sorry.
Oh, he was in that area just walking around. Does he live there? Do you know why he was there?
I don't, the only connection I know, from my experience, that he has to that area, I know that he frequents the area because I know that the police officers in that area are personally acquainted with him, literally on a first-name basis.
And does he live near there? I mean,
That I am not sure where he lives, whether he grew up there, or whether he lives there now, I just don't know.
and you had talked about seizing guns, getting guns off the street.
Yep.
Do you guys have any stats on how many guns you've removed from the streets?
I think it's over 400. Yeah, I can give you the up-to-date, up till October. I can have Jen, wherever Jen is, I can have Jen send that out to you. I've been updating the Public Safety Committee every month. On average, last I looked, it was about 1.5 every single day of illegally possessed guns taken off the street. And that means, since we don't have press briefings like this very often, that means daily officers are apprehending individuals like this, illegally possessing guns, sometimes walking down the street in their waistband, safely getting them. And just from a police training and tactic point of view and how things have changed over the last 25 years, it is interesting for me when I watch this video to see how professional these officers were in their approach. You can see both officers exited the vehicle. They did not bum rush this young man. They did not run up to him. They did not try to tackle him. They did everything as safely and within the training that I like to see. This is night and day different from how it was 25 years ago when I was a police officer, and I think that's a testament to the safety that these officers now are unharmed. So thankful for that, but something that's changed quite a bit in policing in 25 years.
Sounds like you're leaning towards saying that this was totally justified.
You're picking up on that, Ken. I'm not saying it, but I had two officers that were nearly murdered yesterday, and I tell you what, we would be having a very different press conference if one of my officers had been shot and killed. I would have a lot less grace for this young man who tried to kill him. I'm trying to keep the thoughts in my mind that I am a father, and I know that this young man has individuals who love him in his life. I really hope this is a watershed moment for him, that this is the time that he turns the corner, that he does good in his life from this point forward, because I would not be talking about forgiveness if one of my police officers was dead today.
How are your two officers doing now, today, 24 hours later?
Well, I'll tell you, I have not spoken to them today. I want to let them get rest. I know we have a great peer support system here. I came first to the scene. I came first to the station last night because I heard that they made it to the station before I could get to the scene. I stopped here. Michigan State Police were here with them, but they also had a large group of police officers that had been off duty that had come in to offer peer support services that were here with them. I was especially concerned about the young man who's one of our newest police officers, 6 weeks on the street. I sat with him, and I just had a frank conversation with him, and I just said, hey, like, how are you feeling? Do you still want to be a police officer? And fortunately, the answer yesterday was yes. I hope that answer is the same today.
Can you talk one more time, just for clarification, the stolen gun, where was that stolen from? It was technically still on the
Yep,
ground.
well, so now that we've given the entire investigation over to MSP, I don't want to give non-public facts out. That could hinder any part of the investigation. That includes not only the shooting, but also the possession of that gun. So can't share it anymore, but I'm sure that played into the factor of the mindset of the officers. That's why I bring it up.
But he was never actually charged with that, he was kind of just a suspect.
Not at this time, yeah.
But can you at least say, was it from an individual, from a home, from a shop?
I will give you that. I believe that he is suspected in a firearm stolen from a residence. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have anything? I want to thank you guys for coming and having this conversation, and I'm sure I'll talk to you guys very soon, hopefully about something very happy. But I do want to reiterate, this could have been a very tragic discussion today, and very thankful that the police officers are okay and that everyone else on the south end of town is okay there too. So thank you guys for coming.